over-the-counter D is better than the prescription D. Is that right?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
Both of them will work.
Okay.
And recognize that I'm a nurse. You know, I've been a nurse since before I started school. I was helping my mother in clinic. And in nursing, we were taught to do things with the human gently, particularly when we're messing with hormones.
Yeah.
To do it by little bits and small increments, and don't give great big massive doses all at once, because you'll kick some of the other hormones all out and get the patient in trouble. And I've certainly seen that done a lot. But the doctors order 50,000 units in one pill. Very standard. And this is my own personal nursing judgment, that is it violates the principle of being gentle with moving the body.
Yeah, my husband, he has a liver problem and an asthma problem. So the doctor, his asthma said, "Oh, let me get you on 50,000." And I don't know if it was every other day. It was high.
Very high.
But his liver enzymes, which are high anyways, it was that much higher, and realized it can be toxic. And so it's like, now he's like, last time he got done, his D's were fine, and but
yeah. Is he on the D3 or D2?
It was a D2, 50,000. Okay. But his liver enzymes are still high, but at least it's not as high as it was.
Yeah. It can strain the liver.
Yeah.
It can.
You're
and the kidneys.
D2 is better than D3 then?
Dr. Grievous believes that, because it is vegan. That it is a little safer from the contaminants. You know, that he believes that is safer. Okay. But D3 works.
Yeah.
It will work.
D3 is what the sun, D3 is actually what we get from the sun.
Yeah, D3 is converting the cholesterol into cholecalciferol by the sunshine. And so some doctors who are not vegetarian or vegan really prefer it, and they say, you have to do it. But these are the people who tell you have to eat meat and do a bunch of other things, which some of us feel is less than best for our health.
Now I know Dee mentioned to you, and I don't know the answer, but how about the lanolin, the mushroom, and the algae form of D3?
I talked to Dr. Grievous about it.
What do you say?
He prefers to stick with the D2.
Okay.
I was looking at some of the processes of how they were making the D3 that way, and it looked to me like they were using a synthetic and superimposing it and getting it to go into the genetic code of the algae. I'm not sure that that's a good way to go, but I don't know.
How about the Garden of Life one where they put it in a probiotic? Do you know?
I was looking at that. And they are putting in a synthetic D3.
Is that what?
Yeah, read it carefully.
Because I was gonna call them to find out what is your D3, because it really didn't tell you.
They're doing something in a test tube.
Yeah.
No, D3 converts cholesterol into what? You mentioned.
The sunshine will convert cholesterol into cholecalciferol.
What's that mean?
That's just the name of D3.
Oh, okay, into D3.
Yeah.
Sunshine converts cholesterol into D3.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Sunshine, you will never get a toxic reaction from sunshine. It will self-limit. But you will sunburn, so be careful and don't do that. Don't sunburn. We already know that is not wise.
So tell me how the D2 changes over. How is it that your body converts it?
It goes in and is first converted by the liver, kicks over to the kidneys, and converted again. And I've got a diagram here if you want to take a look at it. It's pretty complex chemistry.
Okay.
But then we're sort of complex creatures.
Okay.
Will we get some literature here?
If you want to. Dee made copies of Dr. Grievous' outline here if you want that. She also made copies of the 1.5-year-old article that Dr. Grievous and I wrote for Women of Spirit. And I brought the Vibrant Life that had the most recent vitamin D article that Dr. Grievous and I have done. That came out July, August of last year. That has most of the up-to-date information. It's the first time we managed to get the references in. The editor let us put the references in. That means that you can take it to your doctor, show him the article, show him what you're talking about, let him look at the references, let him check things out himself, and it just goes very nicely to a doctor.
And that you said is a donation?
Yeah, just a donation. Okay?
The same article though is in there, it's printed.
No, this is a year earlier. And like I said, every time I write it, something has changed. You know, we have learned more. I can't stay on top of the research. So when I start writing, then I start looking at what's come out since the last time I wrote. What do I have to add in? What have I, you know?
Well, then, if you wrote first, is it still up to date then?
It's pretty good. It's about 80% good. This one's about 95% good, but there's a couple things that are not in here that came out after this came on print, that I've already, you know, gathered.
So people come in saying they're looking for vitamin D. Of course, I say, which one do you want, vitamin D3 or vitamin 2? And they go, I don't know, just so.
Right.
So what is it that you cover when they?
We have to go to belief systems. What is your belief system? You know, if they are an ordinary Southern American that is sousing down on the hog, I don't see a great big point in selling them vegan vitamin D. I really don't. You know, if they are someone who's a vegetarian or vegan and is important to them, then by all means, let's go to the vegan farm. If they're asking which one might be slightly healthier, the vegan is slightly healthier because it has fewer potential for toxins.
Okay,
So that's the D2.
That's the D2.
The other